Ec19, the balancing forces. Soul to Soul Talk, the balancing forces. Live guiding conversations with Morai, Amoro and Jenai Summer. Morai, could you please tell me once more about the laws of the universe and nature? The law forces of universe and nature, they are the law. If we see them or not, if we know about them or not, but we pay in various ways when we do not tune into them. They are as well the balancing forces of universe and nature, because they have the duty to keep the universe and nature going, and they do whatever they need to do to recreate balance when there is an imbalance. How do we pay when we do not tune into them, Morai? It is so obvious and actually simple, but we often seem not to understand that we are paying. Take for instance the balancing force of change. When you go against change, which is going on all the time, you create a stagnancy in your life, presenting itself by you being stuck, stubborn, holding on to something, trying to control change, and these things affect us physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and economically. The messages are endless, expressing themselves as being tight and hard and constipated, rebellious, and go on. When we try to speed up the normal changes of life, like speeding up the growing of produce by all kinds of artificial means, we pay by decreasing the energy in the food, and that resulting in endless messages expressing us being unhealthy, feeling weak, low in energy, hungry, and irritable. This counts for all the laws and balancing forces when we go against them. In order to get us back in balance, we possibly have to get sick, and we have to do something then to get better again. The balancing force will force change upon us, and it will keep on trying to recreate balance even though we might not get the message, or do not change the right way, or with the right things. It will go on and even getting us out of the loop, which also changes things. These laws and balancing forces always win in the end, for they have the duty to keep the universe and nature going. You explained me several times that these forces are directly under the power of Kalimabanko, the governor of Crystalia, the creation, and now I understand it even better because it is Kalimabanko's task to keep the creation going and trying to hold on to its citizens. Correct, Jenai. And by not understanding the task of Kalimabanko, which is by the way our own mind, and constantly getting in debt by disobeying the law here in creation, we bind ourselves to it. This is the way how we keep our real self, our soul, in prison in the creation and causing suffering to ourselves, others, and the world. We must study the mind, and we must study the laws. Compare it with being in a foreign land in which we must know about its laws and regulations. Otherwise, we will run into trouble. The law of duality. In creation, everything is created with an opposite, and we cannot have one without the other. The law of balance. No matter how bad we behave, it is the duty of the balancing force to create balance when there is an imbalance. The law of wholeness. Although everything is already whole and complete, but we tend to separate everything. The law of change. There is nothing more consistent than change, which we try to go against or wanting faster than it is going. The law of repetition. Everything we learn is through repetition, the good and lesser good things. The law of cause and effect. For every reaction, there is not just one reaction, but a chain reaction through which we create the realities we have to live in. The law of time. Everything in creation has a lifespan and is bound to time, a world in which we are seldom in the moment, and when we are, rushing through it. The law of reflections. Us not realizing that everything we experience is just a reflection from our own mind. We become the judge on what is good and bad, who is allowed to live and who should die. The law of service. We forget that everything in creation serves us, and that we are in service of the Creator and His creation, but instead, we want to be served by others. The law of rhythm and vibrations. We forget that we attract what we are or have become, and that there is no need to point the finger. By changing ourselves, we attract different things, different people and circumstances. The law of expansion and contraction. We always want more and forget to live simple, and are not able to sit by ourselves in a room, being with our soul and Kandu, our Creator. The law of cycles. Everything in creation takes place in cycles within its own stages of experience, but we always try to manipulate these stages and wanting a different one. The law of individuality. We forget that on the level of our soul we are all one and the same, but in the adventure of creation we are all unique and individual, and there is no need to compare or to compete. The law of necessities. There are just very basic things we need in order to live, but we tend to always want more and making our lives very complex and complicated. The law of order, place and function. To keep the order in the universe, everything and everybody has a purpose and a place or role to play. When we want other roles to play and want to run away, we are never content. The law of comprehension. We always try to analyze everything, forgetting that there is an entire history before we can analyze anything at that moment. There is more we cannot see than that what we can see and comprehend. The law of improvement and perfection. We try to create perfection in a world which is bound to time, changes, and created in duality, which is impossible. But we can always improve. To get us out of this prison house of creation, these laws can help us as well, as we can use them to go beyond the law. But Morai, is that not bad to go beyond the law? Not in the way I'm going to tell you, because it has to do with reconnecting with Kandu, the Creator on the inside, through inner silent prayer and meditation. And when we reach home, back in the ocean of love, we are beyond the realm of mind and matter, and beyond and above the laws of universe and nature. They only apply in the realm of body, mind and matter. However, they can remind us of doing our real work on the inside and being a source of motivation. Duality. Go beyond the realm of opposite and become one with Kandu. Balance. The real balance is to be in contact with Kandu, being in the world, but not becoming of it. Wholeness. Realizing that we are already whole and connected and not separated from Kandu. Change. To contact the unchangeable real me and Kandu. Repetition. To repeat the highest virtues and contemplate on the highest, which is Kandu. Cause and effect. To act in the form of meditating and planting seeds back into the ocean of love. Time. To go beyond the world of time back to our real home, where time doesn't exist. Reflection. to see Kandu in ourselves and in everything and everybody else. Service, to serve everything with the consciousness that it is part of Kandu. Rhythm and vibrations, to be in Kandu's life stream, the never-ending heartbeat, the everlasting force of love, sound and light, to live and vibrate the energy of love, and all its virtues coming forth from Kandu. Expansion and contraction, to realize that we can expand in our consciousness to be one with the force Kandu, and simplify our life on earth. Cycles, to go beyond the realm of coming and going, and to enter the everlasting realm of our soul and Kandu. Individuality, to look beyond the individual forms and see Kandu in all, to realize that there is no need to compete or compare because in essence we are all one, and so there is no need to compete with ourselves nor the need to compete or compare ourselves with others. Necessities, the real need for our soul is to be one with its creator, Kandu. Order, place and function. When we function from the level of consciousness of our soul, we take our place in life with grace, and do not do anything to disturb the order. Our place is with Kandu, our creator, so let's train the mind to function in meditation and silent prayer. Comprehension. When we reach the level of Kandu, the creator, we can oversee everything and understand why things are happening. Improvement and perfection. Let's reunite our soul with Kandu and live forever in a perfect world. You know by now that these forces are outside and within us, and that they are like characters, playing their roles in order that everything functions. Study the members of the Sacred Council and see how these forces affect us in every aspect of our life. Thank you, Morai, and I will do as you say.